Hi, I'm Mike.
I just had to give you a little bit of that was all right. I'm Alex.
And I'm Mike. And this is the Pipped Off podcast.
That was awful. That
Oh,
was
so how do you want to do it
bad.
then?
That was so bad. We're gonna have to leave this in now because it was that bad.
Okay, so how do you want to do it? We're gonna just redo it again next time, or is that going to be our thing?
That's our
every
thing.
week.
That's
Okay,
our
that's
thing.
our thing. We do.
That's Mike. This is Alex speaking, and we're on the Pipped Off podcast.
Welcome to episode 6. Welcome back, Alex, from your weekend of debauchery and mayhem and chaos.
Wasn't actually too much. It was, very relaxing.
I saw you driving around in a very expensive car, right? So don't be telling me that it wasn't, expensive or anything else, because I saw you in that little tuk-tuk.
You're talking about the little Minnie Mouse car.
Yes.
I was like, what kind of car was I driving?
Yeah, you said that. You don't even remember, do you?
When you go to Habibi, come to Dubai, you go to Dubai and you get them rentals.
Yeah.
I just got the Mickey Mouse car.
Yeah. So Alex is living it like a real trader when he goes to Dubai. He's not renting out a Ferrari or a Lambo or anything like that. He's renting out the car that he can actually afford being a trader.
Barely afford. It was still a 20 quid for 15 minutes.
It was literally, honestly, your knees were so high up. I thought, okay, how is he even going to get out of this thing? It was like some kind of lotus position or something. It was really just, I was impressed. I was impressed by the flexibility.
I'm a flexible guy. I work on it.
You work on your flexibility.
I work on my flexibility,
Do you bring that flexibility to the markets, do you?
I do bring my flexibility to the market. Sometimes I'm flimsy when it comes to the market. It was good. It was good fun. I do like going over there, and it's really, really warm.
Yeah.
Not
that it's not warm where you are right now. It's like I've gone from warm to warm. Okay.
But it's good to get just a little bit more of a relaxation.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. How about you, mate? You're looking very cold.
Thanks. Yeah, it's first snow today here in Poland. So yeah, my kids were so excited at the snow that they literally both of them got out of the car, dropping them off at preschool, and they just went trying to eat the snow, sticking their tongues out.
Actually, I do that still.
So, and they insisted on Christmas songs in the car. So I was like, okay, all right, it's begun. Okay, so Christmas 2025 has officially begun at the McSparran household. So
doesn't it feel weird? 2025 seems old now. Seems like old news, like an old year. I remember, 2025.
2020 feels like an old year. 2025 for me has just been a whirlwind. It's just been mental. So I can't get my head around 2025. Like from where I was at the beginning, writing a book on recruitment and AI and finishing it, talking to you on a podcast. It's like it's a bit mental.
That's hilarious, actually. How that's come.
Yeah,
but anyway.
But listen, there are more important things that I need to know.
This is the Pipped Off podcast, so we need to discuss the things that have pipped us off.
We need to discuss the important matters of the day. So first things first, how much did you miss being part of the podcast last week when I had both Jonathan and LJ on?
Do you know what? I actually had proper FOMO.
Should you have done.
Had so much bloody FOMO. And I'm not even joking.
Good. Off on your long weekend to Dubai and leaving me to hold the fort, disgraceful. So
it was, but we're here now, and I want to kind of, because I've seen all the clips and stuff, and there's some funny clips, and I'm like, I want to watch I actually listened to the podcast back. It's really fun listening.
We're quite. Do you know what? We're quite entertaining. Who would have thought?
Are we? We are entertaining. You and I.
I think so. I think in snippets, we're entertaining.
Oh, in snippets.
Yeah.
Can't have
So
too much of us though.
yeah, but 2 weeks ago we only did like 40 minutes worth. So last week with Jonathan and LJ, we did an hour and a half. So
That's
we've made
gross.
up for it. We've made up for it.
That's gross. You got Jonathan talking for an hour and a half.
Basically, yeah. It pretty much was the Jonathan show. It was, he was pipped off about influencers, as you may recall
I
last
can
week.
understand because I was the one that tipped him on the
Yes,
ridiculous stuff going in some coaching
exactly.
services.
But I want to talk about that because
Okay.
he was talking about these coaching services. He didn't go into details because a mate of his, he didn't want to do it, so he got a mate of his, Mark, to go in and basically go in and kind of do the introductory call, right? So
But I
he
heard
was
the
going.
voice recordings, he was doing it.
No, he didn't.
Ah, Mark. Mark.
Uh,
Very
yeah,
creative name.
that
Mark.
was LJ. That was thanks to LJ.
We might as well have called him John Smith.
Oh dear! If you don't know what we're talking, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Basically,
um,
Jonathan tried to make an alias and it sucks. Nobody's going to see this podcast anyway. So we can say it. He tried to make an alias and did a
you
coaching
know
call.
what? No, excuse me. You say nobody's going to watch the podcast. Plenty of people have watched us on YouTube so far.
Really?
Yeah, episode 1, we've had like 50 views already, which it's a lot more than I thought we were going to get.
Fantastic.
So let's not give us too much of a hard time.
Going off that though,
Yeah,
it is ridiculous how much money these guys make. How we got onto it is because I did a call because I wanted to understand some guy's funnel that
yeah,
kind of brought me in from YouTube. He was talking about, this kind of business guru type of stuff on YouTube. I really liked his funnel. His YouTube video was that good. It enticed me to actually go in and I was
yeah.
super interested. So I actually jumped on a call with their sales guy. This is
Mm,
not trading related. Sales guy, and he was a young guy, super ambitious and stuff, and we got talking and he told me that he used to be one of the sales guys for this certain influencer, and he's saying he felt it was so bad that he couldn't continue working there
well,
because it
ethically, you
was
mean?
ethically he just couldn't continue working there because it was people were not getting what they were sold and they weren't getting the results that they were,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But he told me how much this guy was making in a day. I don't know if it was every single day, but still, we're talking big money here.
This isn't the only industry that's doing it.
No, every
So
kind of coach, but
so
some coaches do good
yeah,
work. They do God's
I
work.
went. So I actually ended up going through one as well recently, unrelated to trading as well, and it was like an kind of like a mentorship kind of
Business.
community
Yeah.
thing about online business basically, um, and it was basically a 10-15 minute call. They don't tell you what they do, but they just show you evidence and everything else of people making money, etc., etc. $6,000 for 6 months access, but then you have overhead costs as well during that time because what they teach you to do is to run a business that has overhead costs, right? So it has running costs as well of like an extra $500 a month. And I said, in fairness, I said to the guy, I said, look, I can't afford that. I haven't got that kind of money to put up front. And he said, oh, we can put you on a payment plan. I said, yeah, no, I haven't got, because he still wanted like half of it up front. I said, no, it's not happening. But in fairness to him, he was like, no, fair enough, I hear you, and he left it at that. Whereas the one that Jonathan was talking about last week was like,
Some of the
yeah,
stuff that he was
like
saying, and that was bad.
it was yeah. Oh, you've
That
got
was
savings, yeah.
sleazy.
Just use all your savings to make some money. Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Super
Uh,
sleazy.
yeah, yeah. So no, what's been interesting is when you look at all of these influencers, everyone's being gunned down now. Everyone is being targeted But yet, even though these, that people are called out, even though people don't necessarily make money and everything else, people are still falling for it.
Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with some of these these coaching services. I definitely don't think there's anything wrong. But look, in any kind of industry, you're going to have sharks. You're
Mm.
going to have bad sharks.
Yeah.
You're going to have good sharks as well. Like the one off,
What, like you and me?
I am the least sharky. I wish I was a shark. My life would probably be a lot better if I was a shark.
Uh,
I'm more like goldfish. Actually, no, I'm not a goldfish.
no, you're not. No, you're not.
Like Shark's Tail. Like I'm like the shark off Shark's Tail,
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the shark off Shark's Tail. I'm like the little fish next to the shark off Shark's Tail.
Why am I the shark off Shark's Tail?
That's a good thing, bro.
Yeah, I know, but why would you not be the shark from Shark's Tail?
I don't know. I don't give shark vibes. I don't think.
Okay, all right. Or you're just trying to give me compliments for something. What is it you want? You want something?
I want you to trade for me. Maybe that would be better.
No, you don't want me to trade for you. You know you don't want me to trade for you. Do you remember when we were streaming? I was always very good at giving you the assets to look at. That's what we need to get back to.
We need to be live streaming together.
We need to be trading and streaming together. That's what we need to do. Because when we did that, I gave you the asset to look at, and you were like, "There's the setup. There you go."
It's quite interesting. We're coming down to the end of the year, and it's like now we get time to really put into perspective what worked, what didn't work, and really, are we going to make the same mistakes next year, or are we going to fix the mistakes that we made this year? This is what I'm thinking anyway. I was having a call with a lady friend of mine yesterday, and
so you've not gotten rid of the women anymore.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago, there's a bold statement that says the one thing I got rid of was the women.
She lives in Switzerland.
Okay, so she's neutral.
Yeah, so it's very far away. It's the first time I spoke to her in once. I met her when my first trip I went to Dubai. And we stayed in contact. Anyway, so what she asked me is like super random because we were talking about something totally unrelated. But then she was like, "So what are the habits that you want to leave in 2025?" And I was like, bloody hell, where did that come from?
Wow.
But it was a good question. And some of the things that I wanted to do was get okay with being bored. Because boredom for me is like a really uncomfortable place.
I was going to say, I noticed how you've zoomed in today. Like 2 weeks ago when we did this, you'd zoomed out, and I could see when your hands were like going nuts on your chair. I can't see those now. Yeah, I wonder if that's a conscious decision. Try to hide the boredom.
Yeah, no, that's one thing, and I think another thing as well was to keep focus. As I said in the first episode, keep focused on the park bench.
Yeah,
that is a big thing because character, or the way that I am now, the identity that I have now, is a very sticky one. It's one that I haven't changed for a while. It's a very sticky identity.
Your personality?
Yeah. No, my personality stays the same, but I'm talking about certain parts. One limiting belief that I would say that I've put into my brain for quite a while is I am not a patient person. We talked about it in the last podcast.
Yeah.
It's a very sticky belief, bro. It's really hard. And I'll tell you why. I put a video out saying that I was done with day trading and I'm going to be a swing trader and I'm going to show everybody that I can do it.
You haven't seen episode 5 yet. Literally, that video is one of the first things we talk about at the beginning of that episode.
Oh no, is it? Why did some people put bets how long I would last?
No, we just talked about, it's like, okay, Alex is how long's Alex been a swing trader? Alex was a swing trader for less time than it took him to post that video. He recorded the video, became a swing trader, and then by the time the video was scheduled to be posted, he was no longer a swing trader. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
No, so that it's harder than it looks, because when you're
Yeah,
so used to a certain type of way of trading, when you're so used to being a certain type of way,
yeah,
willpower is not enough to just change these kind of beliefs. And it's I'm not joking, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult thing, and it's something that I do want to do, because I definitely don't want to be stuck on the charts all the time. And plus, it's quite exhausting when you make a ton of money and then next minute you're like, it's very very up and down. I think I need things lean a bit more bit more
yeah.
consistent.
You want some more consistency. You want less peaks and troughs and more plateau,
Peaks, just peaks,
just peaks.
just peaks, just like
Just give
boom
me
boom boom, just higher highs, not even a higher low, just one,
just
like up,
just a constant
just
peak,
like from there to there. That would be amazing.
just
Um,
endlessly.
Yeah. But anyway, I said all of that to her, and she's like, "Wow, that's so deep. I didn't think you were gonna say that." And then I asked her, and she was like, yeah, well, I want to sleep more." And I was just like, "Okay,
Well,
interesting.
okay.
Definitely, I agree. I need to sleep a lot more." You know,
Wow. But I mean, in fairness, do you think that do you think you would have been the same person to share that kind of information or be that kind of self-aware in the past?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, I've always been like that.
yeah.
What about
It's
yourself?
just
What are you leaving in 2025?
what am I leaving in 2025?
Yes.
Um, I don't think it's something I'm leaving necessarily because I don't think it's something that I want to say, right, it's definitely gone, it's done, it's finished. But I'm definitely going to be moving towards a more positive mindset, a more positive, those limiting beliefs that you talked about. I'm very much I want to stop those as well. Um, and I want to continue the the kind of the work that I've been doing with the likes of you, and others on extracurricular activities, my own projects, my own side hustles, my own bits and pieces. I really, I really want to push those forward, because I think there's a lot of opportunity, and you look at all the AI stuff and everything else that's going on. There's a ton of opportunity right now to to no longer just be beholden to, right, let me go and do a 9 to 5 job and that's it. You know, Um, yes, you still need to do the 9 to 5 jobs because you've got bills to pay, you got mouths to feed, and all that sort of stuff. But um, one of the things that I found when I look back at my career, being very much in the corporate world, I was working for somebody else and I was climbing the career ladder and everything else, but I wasn't interested. I know it's not that I wasn't interested, but I didn't really do much self development. I didn't do much for myself. I didn't build anything of my own or anything like that. Since the pandemic, since AI and everything else, I've really kind of embraced that creative side of doing something for myself. And I want to do more of that. I want to do more creative things. I want to do more um, innovative things. And I want to be more positive about it. I want to be more aware of, you know, like when you're in trading, you kind of think, oh, everyone knows about trading. But then when you dig a little bit deeper, you realize nobody knows about trading. Trading is still very much a very small industry. In terms of retail traders, yes, there's millions of retail traders around the world, but there's billions of people in the world. So it's still only a small proportion of people that have any involvement in it.
Yeah.
And then when you start narrowing down the numbers that make money, the numbers that that are profitable, all that sort of stuff, it just gets lower and lower and lower. And it's the same with like the AI knowledge and all these other bits and pieces. So I really want to lean into that. I really want to I want to leverage more of that. I want to try and work smarter, not necessarily harder, because that's what I used to do in the past. I used to just work more and more hours, put more and more time into things. I'm learning as I go, and I want to bring that into my trading as well. You know, I want to start making my trading more efficient, more structured, not automated, but certainly more disciplined. I think is what I want to do.
And what's held that back up until now?
Um, it's a bit like that peak and trough, where I went from the peaks of career, then pandemic, into a trough, into a peak of coming back, having my kids, everything else, then a trough, redundancy, peak, right? I'm going to go into trading. I'm going to learn how to do this. Trough, oh, okay, the money's run out. Trading isn't, profitable yet. Peak, go into working with you, go into ABL. Trough, you decide to piss off and leave me on my own. Peak, I'm then taking over the project. So there's kind of these peaks and troughs of, right, okay, just trying to adapt and find some stability to all these things. And it feels like that stability just hasn't been there for the last 5 years. So my hope is to maintain that stability that I've got right now, with the ABL project, but then leverage that to enable me to do things like this, for example, right? And mental wealth trader, and a bunch of other things that I'm working on in the background, basically, because I think that's what's going to give me the real sense of satisfaction. We've talked about it in the past about doing something for yourself, right? And that's what I want to do. I want to do something for myself that I can say, yeah, that's mine. I built that. I own that. That's and whether it's mine, whether it's with a few other people, it doesn't have to be solely mine, but I want to be able to say, yeah, that this is my stamp on on things, rather than being reliant on a job to bring me an income and everything else. I want to diversify that. So yeah, so I think that lack of stability, or just frankly just the highs and lows of life, have kind of just made me think, okay, right, when the grass is green, don't just sit back complacent. Right, the grass is green. Okay, now go and get some work. Go and plant the next field. You know, rather than just
Yeah.
sitting back and thinking, okay, I can chill now. I've got an income, nothing to worry about. Well, actually, hang on a second. Maybe what I should do is I should maybe go and start planting the seeds for the next field and for the next harvest and everything else, so that I don't have to worry about it.
It's very it's very difficult because when good things happen, it normally sets off a wave of good things. And we always kind of forget that, it's like a heartbeat monitor. You get
Mm.
the beep, 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 up and down. And that just shows that you're alive. The
Yeah,
peaks and the troughs are just the natural occurrence. But sometimes you don't know how long those waves actually happen. Like you can
yeah,
be on top of the world for 6 months, and then one thing happens, and then suddenly you're set off on so many non-stop issues that come along.
yeah,
A friend of mine, I just spoke to him yesterday. Unfortunately, his father died,
yeah,
and um, that came after his mother died, and that
yeah,
came after all of these. So it's just like non-stop things happening,
yeah,
and I know eventually he's going to go through the opposite direction, and there's going to be good things. But when you're deep inside of it, you don't really see. And the same thing's going when everything is going good. When
yeah,
everything is going good, you don't really seem to think about anything else.
yeah.
Everything's going good. and
Yeah.
sometimes that can cause you to not appreciate really what you've got right now. It
Yeah.
could maybe you maybe a lot of different things, and then when you haven't got that, suddenly you wish you had it. And it's the same thing when you're in the dark places. In the dark places, you don't see any way of getting out. And
The dark places are the hardest place to get out of. The hardest part. It's so hard because it's like it's like wearing sunglasses and everything's just tinted, you know. But instead of the sun shining and you're just protecting your eyes, it's already cloudy outside, and it just makes everything seem a million times worse. Just this, this whole darker layer,
heavy,
yeah, makes it feel
somebody
really,
like sitting on your chest.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's so hard, so hard. November is obviously Men's Mental Health Month. And a couple of days ago was International Men's Day, in fact. So I did a post and I shared it, and I've had a ton of people come back to me saying, thanks for sharing, thanks for talking about your experience and everything else. And it's not really pipped off related, but I still feel like, we get pipped off and it can spiral, right? It can lead to, feeling much worse and everything else. So I think if we can find that right balance in our conversations, then I think it works. And that's what I love about when we chat is that we can have a laugh, we can have a joke, and then we can talk about something deep and meaningful as well at the same time. And just
Yeah,
find that that
balance.
balance. But how many people when they're
I don't
going
have that.
through well, yeah, when they're going through a drawdown, when they're going through or they've just blown an account or whatever, like, how many people feel like they can go, "Oh my god, Alex, I was such a tit. I went full margin on this, or I blew this account because I overtraded, etc., etc." There's a real sense of embarrassment when you do it because you're not supposed to, but you still go and do it, and it's because it's lack of discipline, whatever you want to describe it as, but it's still, it still hurts. It's still, it's still painful. Yeah, you might become numb to it and everything else, but not many people talk about it afterwards.
Do you know why it hurts?
Mm.
It hurts because you know you can do better, and it
Yeah,
hurts because you probably know that you've got the potential there,
yeah,
but you're not reaching your potential because you're doing things that are going against it, and you're
yeah,
self sabotaging.
yeah,
And that's why it hurts, because you see that you could be so much better,
mhm,
but it's part of you that's holding yourself back.
yeah, yeah,
And that is a bitter, bitter taste, because sometimes if you don't try and work on it,
yeah.
then it can go there the rest of your life, man. And that really, it's heartbreaking to think,
But
that
then, that willingness or lack of willingness to talk about it makes it even harder.
yeah.
If
Talking,
you're
I
not
think
going to talk about it, then what?
for only recently, only the last few years, men have just been more open to be speaking, and looking vulnerable.
You think they are though?
I think they are more open to it because now it's a more open thing, and that depends on the man as well. It depends on the kind of guy.
I'm in two minds. I think there's a lot of people that are more open to it, but then there's still this counter wave of the alpha male movement, the likes of Andrew Tate and everything else, and all that sort of stuff, that people just feel like, okay, no, I can't do this. I'm just going to shut up. I'm not going to share any kind of potential weakness. I'm not going to portray any kind of weakness because this isn't, this is just going to get me shut down. This is just going to get me ignored. There's videos that go around on social media that say, um, so a girl asks, who do you talk to when you're feeling down? And then there's just clips of men endlessly saying, nobody, I'm a man. No, no one. I don't talk to anyone. I'm a man. Why would I talk to anyone? Endless people just think, no, I can't because I'm a bloke. So I do think it's better. I do think things like men's mental health and all these awareness campaigns and advocates and everything else make it better. But I still think there's a counter movement that kind of holds a lot of people back.
This is going to be a really deep conversation, but it's like, do you feel the more that you talk about mental health or men's mental health and suicide and things like that, the more that it occurs?
No. Reason being is those statistics have been there for a very, very long time. They're not suddenly there today, right? It's not suddenly that, oh, okay, we started talking about it, so now everyone's got the idea of let me go kill myself. These things have been happening for such a long time, and it's because of the pressures. It's because of the fact that people don't talk. It's because of the fact that people don't see any alternative way out. Because it is just, I've been there, right? And when you're in that deep, dangerous, dark space, your mind
Doesn't
convinces you,
function. Yeah.
it convinces you that the world is better off without you. It convinces you that your family would be better off without you. No matter what your family might say, no matter what situation you might be in, your brain kind of just encloses yourself in this dark matter. And it's, if you're, I don't think it's a question of weakness. I think it's a question of awareness of that propaganda that your brain is feeding you, because that's what it is. Your brain is feeding you propaganda to say you're crap, you're shit, everyone's better off without you, when that's just not the case. And I personally think, so the reason I'm still here is because of the thought of my family. What it would do to them, that has always kept me there. That's always kept me from doing something stupid and permanent. But then when people ask me why, okay, so why do you talk about it? The reason I talk about it is because I know that there are people out there that don't necessarily have their family in the back of their minds to stop them. They don't, or they're just, you know, the pain that they're suffering internally is so heavy that the thought of their loved ones is not enough to save them. And you know, people die by suicide because they just don't see any other way out. And so the way I see it is, yeah, it's hard for me to talk about. It's not something that I take, you know, as a trivial topic, but it's something that I've suffered with depression for over 20 years, and I see it as, for 20 odd years, this mental health condition has taken so much from me. It has worn me down so many times. It has left me on the brink, you know, quite a few times. And I refuse to allow that to then simply just be a stain on my life. You know, I refuse to just simply say, right, okay, this is just my hand and I just suffer from depression. I'd much rather think, right, well, if I'm going to get this crappy thing that I'm trying to deal with, well, then I need to try and make something positive from it. And it's that determination, it's that kind of, I don't know, desire to try and spin something positive from what I feel has been really, really negative and put me into some really dark places. That's what motivates me to talk about it. That's what motivates me to talk to other people. You know, and you look at things like, there's that book, The Boy, the Horse, the Fox and the Mole.
Yeah.
I
You
don't know if you've
shared
ever
it.
read that.
No, you shared it,
Yeah.
and I took a screenshot.
Yeah, it's an amazing book, and the guy who wrote it, this author, he drew it, um, and it's been something like the most. It's been the most Sunday Times bestseller ever. It's been the Sunday Times bestseller something like 200 odd times. And he was signing books and everything else, and he said that at the end of these book signings, he had this 18-year-old kid come up to him, and he didn't have a book to sign, but he just went up to him and just said, I just want, you know, I stayed. And the author was like, you stayed for a book signing? He said, no, I stayed alive because of your book. I read the book and it helped me to see a different perspective. And so when you think about it from that perspective, like he said, I could have written that book, and that if it just saved that one kid, it was worth doing it. And that's why I think, you know, you look at the conversation around it is really, really hard, and it's really triggering for a lot of people. But the alternative is you say nothing, and people just ideate it, and then the suicide ideation just continues because people then start googling what's the best way to do it. You know, what's the painless way to do it? What's the quickest way to do it? Whatever. You know, if we don't talk about it, we still get, you know, the biggest killer of men under 50, and just carries on and doesn't stop. End of topic. What's got you pipped off?
It's a heavy one, man.
That's everyone. It is. Sorry, everybody, but
I don't think nobody needs to say sorry. It's reality, and I think it's very important. And I've never been one to suffer from anything really, and I never thought I would. And 2 years ago, really started quite a big event in my life, and quite a lot of other people's lives as well, which I think is going to stay in history as one of the biggest attacks or terrorist attacks. And what led on from there kind of spiraled for 2 years of just on and off military service, or whatever we call it. And when I came out the first time for a break, I was on my motorbike, and I was just like,
full throttle.
I was like, it would just be so much easier.
Yeah.
So just, and it's super weird because I never thought ever, and it's a creeper. You could be the person that never ever is down or anything like that, or, you know, super
But that's,
strong-minded.
do you
And
remember I once asked you, it wasn't a part of the podcast, but I once asked you separately, and I said, let's chat. And I don't know if anyone else tried talking to you about it or not, but it is a silent killer, and very often it is the people that you least suspect of thinking that way that can end up in that moment and just do something stupid because they haven't talked about it.
Just takes one bad decision, man.
It does. It really does.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Just like my trading, one bad decision. I would love to have a conversation one day in the future on here and say, you know what?
I've mastered it. I've conquered it.
I am now no longer a day trader, and I just swing trade. Or
what would you do instead?
Work. Do other things.
Oh my god.
Not that I can't. One of the things is just the cheap dopamine, man. Like, I really fucking hate the stuff. And these types of thrills that you get from all of these different things, you know, I want to get the thrills as well of just being a little bit more mundane, just a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I'm setting I would love just to set myself up for when I am a little bit older, that, you know, I'm not stuck in front of I'm stuck in front of the computer now anyway. We all are. That's our job.
Yeah.
So it's fine now. But I'm never one just to think about, and that's probably one of my problems as well. I'm not one just to think about what's going on right now. I'm always thinking about what is, you know, 1, 2, 3 years. And if I don't do this right now when I've got the time to do it, then it's never going to happen. And I'm probably going to be just one day, just be like, you know what, I'm probably done with the whole trading thing, and I'm just investing for long-term stuff, because I haven't got the time and or the energy to be on a 5-minute time frame.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is going to be the way in which you're going to get kind of embrace that boredom? Have you got a plan of how you're going to do it?
Practice.
But how?
While I'm waiting in line,
Mm.
just to stand in line and try and not just to push forward, or just instead of
Oh,
huffing
you're
and
one of those
puffing.
people. Oh, you're one of those
I'm
toss.
one of those. I'm one of those people that'll be like, "Oh, mate, 2 seconds. I'm only asking a question.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, bro. Honestly." And then I'll just ask the question. I'll leave. I'll never take too much time. I'm not one of those. Um, or just
Maybe
it's
instead of
something.
maybe instead of a
It's something, a framework that I'm working on. I'm just gonna working on a little bit of a framework how it's gonna be doing, but just
maybe
little
it's
things in my life of just trying to be a bit more patient.
so maybe instead of riding a motorbike, get a car,
Yeah,
sit
that's
in
not
traffic.
happening. No. Too far. I'm gonna be on the 5-minute, 1-minute time frame forever. Never happening, bro. Never. Oh, you never, ever, never,
Uh,
never, 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 never.
I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd say
No
that.
way would I sit in traffic like that. What?
So I have got an idea, right? Which
Okay.
kind of tackles the dopamine thing, and it's something that I'm thinking about. So I don't know if you want to try it.
Monk mode.
Um, sorry,
Monk mode.
what's monk mode?
No nut November.
No,
No, you don't know any of those?
no,
Okay.
no.
They're like these red pill concepts that are being splashed around the internet by all the younger generation of
Right.
not not masturbating, not watching porn, not going on social media, not drinking, not smoking, like all the
Yeah.
good stuff
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do. It's called monk mode. And then a couple of
Okay.
years later came out No Nut November.
No nut November.
Yes, which has got
So I've
quite
heard
a
about the monk.
brandy name,
I've
actually.
heard about the monk mode for flights for long haul flights. It's like you
Never
go on
heard
a
that
long
one.
haul. You go on a long haul flight. If you go on like a long haul flight, transatlantic or whatever, you don't listen to your phone. You don't read a book. You don't watch a movie.
You
You
raw dog
literally
it.
you literally just sit there in a tin
Mm.
can and fly across the world.
It's called raw dogging.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's raw dogging. It's not monk mode, but
Maybe it's not raw dogging. I don't know. Maybe it's not that.
raw dogging just sounds a little bit
It's just
wrong.
a bit bad, yeah,
Which is
but it's
raw dogging
raw
has
dog in a flight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, the idea is so it's all very well saying you're not going to do that stuff, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of it revolves around your phone, right?
Yes,
Social media, all that sort of stuff. So how
indeed.
do you remove the reliance on your phone without necessarily removing let's be honest, the convenience and the productivity that it can give you. So one area that I want to improve on is I want to stop using my phone when I'm at home with the kids. And what I find I sometimes do with my phone is I'm like, oh, let me just quickly Google that. Let me just check that. Let me just find something out. Right.
Yep.
And so the idea that I have, and I haven't Googled this, is just an idea I came up with by myself, is instead of carrying my phone with me, I go and put it in the bedroom and I leave it by my bedside table. Okay. And
Yeah.
in my pocket, instead of a phone, I carry like a notebook, like a like a pad and a pen. And every time I think of something that I would do on my phone, I just write it down. And then it just gets me to think, all right, okay, so I'll do this when I've got my phone. And then I just do those things. Or I think it was actually this really isn't important. I'm not going to write this down and just leave it. I don't know if it's going to work. It's an idea that I haven't found a notebook yet that I can, because the one thing I used to carry notebooks all the time years ago, and they all just get dog-eared and destroyed in your pocket. So I need to see if there's a solution out there where you can just have something that you use almost like a filofax, or what was it they used to be called? Do you remember just before the iPhone came out, there used to be like a handheld device and it had a stylus on it. Do you remember?
I am only born in 1996.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, this wasn't that long
Yeah, I'm
ago.
joking. I'm joking. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? It was like
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. But well, I thought that was a phone, though.
no.
That
Later on it
wasn't.
might have been. Later on it might have
That
been.
wasn't
But
a phone. What? That was for note taking.
yeah, it was like a handheld tablet, like a small handheld
Yeah, yeah,
tablet,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it had a stylus. It
Yeah,
didn't
it was
work with your
literally like
finger.
the
Yeah,
size of a phone. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to
Interesting.
think who made them. It might have been Casio or Compaq. Compaq used to make them.
Mm.
Compaq used to make them. Um, but I know you can now get like these electronic like notepads and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know if it would work. It's just I'm trying to think. Like so many people are detoxing from technology and all this sort of stuff. I don't feel that it would be beneficial for me yet to go full detox and just get rid of the smartphone. I'm not. I'm not at that point. Maybe I will be in the future, but I do feel like there is quality time that is getting interrupted by this item of convenience that I've got sitting in my pocket.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I'm hoping that if I can get rid of that, it will make me more present with the kids. Just literally because that's normally what happens with me is I get my phone out because I think, let me just Google that. Oh, I've got to remember to send that email. I forgot to reply to that message or whatever it is. If I do that, then it's not there for me to physically do it. You see what I mean?
I gotta say, man, this is another compliment, so don't take it. Don't
Oh,
take it
geez.
badly. But you are a top dad. I've seen you, man. Like honestly, I've seen the stuff that you do with James and teaching him how to ride a bike, taking him to London and Legoland and stuff like that, man. You are a top dad, and you should be really, really proud because a lot of the stuff that you do for them. Obviously, I'm not a dad myself, so I don't know what it feels.
Yeah.
But you know, top
It's
top stuff, man. Like really
Thank you,
teaching him
mate.
how to ride a bike and that, and you know, you
Thing
give
is
me
that
inspiration of how to do it for myself.
I appreciate that, mate. I really do. I think it goes back into that mental health state of a lot of dads. I know a lot of dads out there put a hell of a lot of pressure on themselves to deliver and to be present. If you think about, older generations when they were fathers, right? The father's role was to go and provide, go out and work. Mother's role, stay at home, look after the kids. So the father would go out first thing in the morning, come back at night, dinner on the table. Thanks very much. And you'd be lucky if you maybe saw your dad on the weekend. And you know, the stereotype was don't disturb dad. He's been a really busy week, right?
Yeah, I remember
And so
those.
yeah, and so now the narrative is trying to be changed, which is great because the relationship with your dad can influence the relationship with your future partners and everything else, right? Especially for daughters, but not only. And so there's this generation of fathers who are trying to change that narrative, but they still have that in a dialogue saying you've still got to provide, like because there is this there is still this um, natural phenomenon within humans that the man goes out and provides, the woman reproduces, the man provides the food, whilst the woman has babies. Right? That's biology. It's nature. But now men, and on top of going out and providing, us now also trying to be this nurturing, present, you know, person, and it's hard. It's hard for I'm not saying it's easy for women by no stretch of the imagination. Please don't cancel us. We've only just started, but um,
After
for a lot
everything
of
we've been talking about, I'm sure that's not going
oh,
to be the
really,
reason we're going to
well,
get.
yeah,
I was like,
maybe. Um, but honestly, I know for a fact there are a lot of dads out there who are, myself included, who put themselves under a ton of pressure and a ton of strain, who are more self-aware, who are trying to be more present, trying to be, to provide a balanced environment, for their wives as well, trying to support. give the wives the opportunity to have a career, so many different things. And at the same time, they still have this inner kind of, I have to be the man to provide, right? I have to I have to be the foundations here. Um, and that's a lot of weight to carry. It's a lot of weight to carry. Um, and you've then got the inner dialogue, because you're so self-aware. You've got the inner dialogue of when you lose your temper, or you get frustrated, or you shout at your kids, and you feel like the worst parent in the world, because you're like, no, that's not what I want to be. That's not what I want to do. So it is a constant battle. And when one of the things I always try and remind myself of is, as parents, you're trying to give your kids the best possible opportunity in life, but you're taking a lot of stuff from your childhood, right? And your parents took a lot of stuff from their childhood, and it's like this cycle that just goes round and round. And every generation is trying to create their own version of that cycle, if that makes sense. And it feels like right now, where we are in terms of the world and everything else that we're in, it's a very, very hard cycle to balance. It's a very, very hard, kind of place to
Money,
be, to find
money's
yourself.
tough. Money's tough.
Yeah,
It's not even the fact that making money is tough. It's just everything else is super, super expensive now.
exactly.
Money's worth less, and it's like,
Yeah.
um,
Money's worth less, and people are addicted to their phones. People are addicted to screen time. It's it's a very, very different world to what it was 20, 30 years ago. Very different world, you know. But I appreciate the compliment. Thank you, mate. That means a lot. That means a lot.
yeah.
We have. I forgot to do it last week with Jonathan. Even though we took an hour and a half, I didn't actually do the write-ins. So we do have.
We got writing.
We have a submission. We have a story submission from Gabia. I hope I pronounced that right. If you haven't given a submission, guys, then please go to pippedoff.com, and you don't have to provide your email. You don't even have to provide your name. But if you've got a story that left you pipped off, then let us know. We'd love to hear from you. It says, I made many mistakes and never managed to make friends with trading. I tried to stop chasing quick profits and get rich quick, but for a long time I couldn't be successful. I lost all my funded accounts for a year and lost a lot of money, but one day something like an epiphany came and said, stop, you can do it, don't give up, and everything will be... I don't know if he's finished it. Oh, there we go. Everything will be in your hands. Of course, even now, I tremble before every transaction when I click buy or sell, but little by little, I am learning to control my emotions. I understood and know that my strategy works, but my emotional and psychological preparation is still ongoing. I don't give up. When I read that the other day and I saw that coming in, it really kind of resonated with me, from the fact of one of the reasons I got into trading was it is an amazing mirror on you as a person. Like it just lays bare all of your triggers, all of your, when you're having a bad day, it's just there right in front of you, in black and white, in positive or negative figures, right? So yeah, thank you for that, Gabia. Appreciate you sending that in, and we hope you'll keep us posted on your journey and your progress, so we can update everyone as to how you are doing. Wanted to ask you, Alex, because there's been a lot of noise lately, going slightly off topic, or not off topic, but a different topic. Been a lot of noise about prop firms lately.
Okay.
Twitter is a bit of a noisy chamber anyway.
Yeah.
But there's, various different, claims about who's the best prop firms and everything else. We've talked about how many prop firms there are now. There's something like 70 odd. or something like that out there that we know of. What do you think is the right way to look at the prop firm space?
The best prop firm is the one that pays you out. And that is a big. So if you're looking at the rules, and there's
Mm,
so many different things to stop you from getting a payout, it's very, very difficult, man. Like, even for me, I
mm,
only trade with FTMO, really.
yeah,
Um, Fivers are a good firm, but they will limit you pretty pretty fast. But she's totally fine if you can just continue.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they
limitations are not necessarily bad. Um, if you know you're going to get paid out for all your good hard work. I find it very, very difficult to look at firms these days and say that they're going to. I'm talking about CFD. I don't know about futures.
Mm,
I'm talking specifically on CFD. I look at the majority of firms and I don't trust anyone.
yeah,
That's the honesty. And it's very difficult because now we're building up funding rock and it's very difficult to build up trust.
yeah,
Trust takes time and effort.
yeah,
It takes years of building up a brand. It takes years of doing the right thing where, where when there's issues. At the moment, I'll be totally honest. I'm seeing people copy trade right now. I had to jump on a call with somebody and just say, "Look, guys, stop it.
yeah,
Like, I don't want to kick you guys out,
yeah,
but you're copy trading, so
yeah,
stop it."
yeah.
Um, and there's a lot of abuse in prop firms as well. There's a lot of abuse on the side of the trader that a
Exactly.
lot
Yeah,
of people don't know, and they then go onto Twitter and they make this big fuss, and then a lot of their friends are all involved, and these guys work in groups, and they all like engagement farm on things like that, and bully themselves into getting what they want,
yeah,
and that is a big thing. But the space is getting a lot bigger, and bigger players are coming in. Rules will probably get harder, but
yeah,
you will more likely get paid out for your good efforts if you've stuck to the rules.
yeah,
Because any firm, if they start doing payout denials,
yeah.
then it's a no go. But it is difficult. I am
The
not
problem
gonna.
with the payout denials is that a lot of that happens because that firm hasn't managed their risk properly. Like people say about traders managing their risk, right? But firms have to manage their risk as well. You know,
Define their risk.
well, their risk in terms of, for example, you've just said you've identified people who are doing copy trading,
That's
right?
the risk.
Right?
Exactly. The
And
fraudster.
there are firms out there that don't do that, that
Yep.
don't keep an eye out for that,
Yep.
are then stripped to pieces by all these different people coming in and trying to gamify it, or whatever,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden you're left exposed, right?
Yeah. And or they haven't caught somebody that is doing something that they shouldn't be,
Yeah,
and they feel like it's not fair to pay this person out because they've done something
yeah,
like hedging against, or doing something that they shouldn't be. At the end of the
yeah,
day, it's fair game.
yeah,
If you're going into the casino and the casino sweats every time a person takes a pay their money out, well, it wouldn't be a business anyway.
yeah,
Just understand what you're. I've seen a lot of people call out bucket shops. If you know what a
yeah,
bucket shop is, it's prop.
yeah,
It's another form of a casino.
yeah,
So, like, you go and you pick your right places to place your bets.
yeah,
You just gotta just accept that that's the way it is, and try and pick up the firms that have got people that are face to face, people that you see their faces, um, and that they have got good, long standing brands, which is pretty crappy because Funding Rock is a brand that is fairly new, and it's going to take us a while to build up that that brand equity.
So do you think, I mean, realistically speaking, if we're talking about brands that have longevity, there's really only two on the market.
Yeah.
FTMO and the fivers.
Yeah.
There's nobody else with that
Top step.
longevity.
But
Top step, yes.
Top step of also, yeah, top step.
Top step on the futures side. But in terms of CFDs, you've got FTMO and you've got the fivers. There's nobody else. I mean, granted, in the years that I've been trading with, for 3 years, and in those 3 years, you have companies that have popped up in a year or whatever. You've got the likes of maybe Alpha Capital, and the such like, but what I mean is in terms of length of service, like how long they've been around for, right? But you know,
If anybody
it's
can see, I'm shaking my head here. Um, look,
don't come for us, guys.
it's pick your poison and trade within the rules. Make sure you check the rules. Make sure you're not doing anything. If you sticking with all the rules, you're not going to have a problem. People
Yeah,
threaten all this stuff. Oh, I'm going to have this issue. I'm going to have that issue. As long as you're staying within the rules and everything is fine. That being said, the firm that you just spoke about, Kelsey, one of the guys that is a 200K funded trader with us, he got banned from them for no apparent reason.
wow,
But
interesting.
who knows? But yeah, it's a difficult landscape. But I'll just add on this ending note. It's going to get bigger. More firms are going to get in. There's going to be massive innovation, and the whole scope of this niche is going to change in the next few years.
Yeah,
There's people that come into a new niche that are a brand new niche, and they make the niche, and then there's people that come in right at the end that see all the improvements and the things that can be done, and they're more professional because
and
they
they
built
disrupt it.
brands and they
Yeah,
disrupt it and they make it bigger and they make it better. And all the ones that were at the start,
mhm.
doesn't matter, they slowly die out and become
Yeah,
irrelevant.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, it's true. It's true. I think the other thing is the one that's really growing now is the futures market.
humongous,
Isn't it?
humongous, more money in it, bigger
Yeah,
than CFD,
yeah,
more transparent in ways. Most people apparently get taken out to the market, and I don't see why they wouldn't get taken out to the market, because if they
mm,
don't get taken out to the market, I think they would just screw the company.
yeah,
If they're going to run the model take from Peter to pay Paul, not going to last, I don't think.
yeah. No, exactly.
You
What is
can't.
interesting, I've seen a lot of people talking about. I think it might be funding next futures,
Saw it.
where they're taken out on a live account, but on a much smaller size account.
So they would take, what was it, 85% of the profits that on the fourth payout or something like that. They would take
Yeah,
85% of the profits, and then they would give you 15% of that will then go into the live account, and then
yeah,
something weird. Now that
yeah,
they've always given me scammy vibes, so I'll never ever go and trade with them.
yeah.
Ever.
But it's when you get these kind of complicated, weird, setups and structures. You know,
Consistency, payment buffers. When did this start happening? When did we start adding
yeah, yeah.
these this is not the prop that I know. The
Jumping
prop
through hoops, isn't it?
the prop that I know is what we're doing with funding route. You've got a
Yeah,
target, a drawdown, two step, you know.
yeah,
Tra- don't trade news for the 2 minute and 2 minute window, 4 minute window.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
And but I'm not gonna toot the horn of funding rock anymore. It's
I think anyone that wants to check out my link and you can get a decent discount
there you go.
for a Funding Rock account.
What did you
Go to
got?
mentalwealthtrader.com and you can get yourself a nice discount.
Fair enough.
So yeah, but no, yeah, and I hear what you're saying, and I think it is a market that's going to change over the next few years, hopefully for the better. But yeah, we'll see who from it is going to survive. Will
I
be
can
another
place.
question.
I'll place bets. I can place a bet.
Yeah,
survive. Yeah,
Okay. All right. We'll maybe save that for another episode then.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Mate, it's been a pleasure.
See you
Episode
soon.
6 in the can. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. It got a bit deeper than we probably even thought it was going to, if I'm honest. But it's always good to catch up with you, mate.
Yeah.
And we'll see everyone next week.
See you soon.
Cheers.